Chapter 41. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dares stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Who hath given me anything beforehand, that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. Would I keep silence concerning his boastings, or his proud talk, or his fair array of words? Who can uncover the face of his garment? Who shall come within his double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? Round about his teeth is terror. His scales are as pride shut up together, as with a closed seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another, they stick together, that they cannot be sundered. His sneezings flash forth light, his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning torches, and sparks of fire leap forth. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of the seething pot of burning rushes. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. In his neck abideth strength, and dismay dances before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm upon him, they cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, firm as the nether millstone. When he raises himself up, the mighty are afraid. By reason of despair they are beside themselves. If one lay at him with the sword, it will not hold, nor the spear, the dart, nor the pointed shaft. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Slingstones are turned with him into stubble. Clubs are accounted as stubble. He laughs at the rattling of the javelin. Sharpest potsherds are under him. He spreadeth a threshing sledge upon the mire. He makes the deep to boil like a pot. He makes the sea like a seething mixture. He makes a path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be hoary. Upon earth there is not his like. Who is made to be fearless? He looketh at all the high things. He is king over all the proud beasts. All right, let's go back up, verse 1. And we know yesterday the Lord was speaking, and he is continuing to speak in this chapter. God is speaking to Job, that one who is God has brought under the strife, or God is allowed to be under the strife. This one Job, he's this one who's hated, this one who's being looked down on, browbeaten. But God is pointing out Job. He says, now let me ask you a few questions, Job, and see if you got all the answers. He wants to know if Job's as smart as he thinks he is. But Job said he don't know anything. Before God, he's just nothing. He has no understanding. God can change the understanding of all things in a moment. In one moment, we think we have it all figured out, and in another moment, God has changed everything, so to speak. It's like all things have changed. Our eyes have been opened. We have some kind of understanding that we can perceive, that we can make some sense out of. And it seems like in a moment, everything we know is changed. But God has told Job now, he says, now consider the behemoth, the great cattle, or the great beast upon the earth, this great beast in the earth, or this beast in the flesh, this beast of the flesh. God causes him to live just like all the other animals on the earth. He has to eat and he has to survive. But now none can take him. He is the mightiest. Of course, we know God made the greatest. God made the least. And God makes everything in between. And nothing can capture, nothing can harness this beast. But we'll find I know this chapter is split from the King James Version. But now in verse 25, and that's where the split would be. This one Leviathan. We're no longer talking about behemoth, but we're talking about Leviathan. And Leviathan is that great sea serpent, or that great sea monster, so to speak, or this great evil or terror of the water, evil or terror of the depths of understanding even. We'll find out Leviathan is this creature. We can We can call him a creature. We can call Leviathan this one who God has made to dwell in the waters, or in the understandings of men. And we'll be talking about this one who thought he could come against Leviathan. And in the last verse of the chapter, or this would be like verse 6 or 7, verse 7 of the King James Version, who can lay hands upon him? And think about the battle you would have if you laid hands, literally laid your works upon this one who lives in the understanding. And the battle you would have, that you would do so no more. We would find he gone out last. He was here when you came. Verse 1. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? This one who's thinking about laying hands upon this great this one who lives in the understanding, or is caused to dwell there. You're not going to lay hands on him. This battle would be too great for you, and if he was to raise up, you would be cast down. Even the mightiness, the awesomeness of it, we cannot contend with. Verse 2. None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? So God says that none's able to stir him up. This terror that lives in understanding, none will come against him. Now, who's going to stand up against me? Well, we'll find that God created. 3. Who hath given me anything beforehand that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. Now, and God says, who's given me anything? Who's done anything that I owe them something? See, and we'll find out. God created everything. God owes nothing, anything, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Under the whole heaven, in all understandings, belongs to God. Even that one who dwells in the terror of it. 4. Would I keep silence concerning his boastings, or his proud talk, or his fair array of words? Would I keep silence because of his boastings? Would I just sit there and listen to him because I owed him something? Or his proud talk, or this how he exalts himself? Or his fair array of words, how he changes words together to make them beautiful, to make them pleasant to the ear, to make them something we want to hear, that we long for, like water that we would thirst for. 5. Who can uncover the face of his garment, or who shall come within his double bridle? Who can uncover the face of his garment? The face is always that which makes plain. His garment, that which he covers himself with. Who can make plain this garment? These waters where he hides himself within. Who can come within his double bridle? This bridle that he's been placed upon him, this double bridle, as if there was two, to control him, to the double the strength of control, even that of flesh and spirit. 6. Who can open the doors of his face? Round about his teeth is terror. Who can open the doors of his face, this place where they go in and out, in his face, that which he makes plain, his understandings? Round about his teeth is terror. These teeth, these things he chews, these things he rips, tears, and devours with, it's all terror. 7. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a closed seal. His scales, and we're going to find out about these scales, they're just like if we looked at an alligator, and some people believe this is some kind of similitude to the alligator, but we can look at the alligator and use a comparison. We see these little squares, these scales, they're joined together. Well, these would be like his pride. This is how his pride is, these little scales that are joined together. We're fine. They are shut up together as a closed seal, and like something that's sealed up where they can't be separated. 8. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. And there's one joined so much together that these scales of pride, that no spirit, nothing can get between them. 9. They are joined one to another. They stick together, and they cannot be sundered. They are joined one to another. And we're describing this Leviathan, we're describing this great understanding that's in this great monster that lives in understanding, how its pride is that which keeps the spirit from getting in. They're joined one, and they can't be separated because of his understandings. 10. His sneezings flash forth light, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. His sneezings, these snortings of his nostrils, these flashings that go forth, are light, are these judgments. They're like judgments flashing out, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. His eyes, his perceptions, these things that he understands, or these things that he looks upon, they're like the perceptions of the morning, this which is coming forth, this understanding even, that which is coming after the darkness. 11. Out of his mouth go burning torches, and sparks of fire leap forth. Out of his mouth, that's which pours out, are these burning torches. A torch is a light, a lamp, fire, something we can see, and that's the judgment of God, these burning torches. And these sparks of fire that leap forth. These sparks, that which, the word is kitod, and it says spark. I believe, if we looked it up, kid means ruin. It means destruction, and that's where it gets it. It's its root is the kitod, and it's ruinous destructions even. That which we would relate to a fire. See, that which we relate to. But it's like a stone, a ruby, a dode, beautiful. See, it's these destructions that are beautiful. These destructions that shine, that glitter, that we can see. 12. And out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot, and burning rushes. And this seething pot is something you would set on to boil, to cast in things and cause them to boil or seethe them to make like a stew. These burning rushes are that which you gather up. Of course, they're going to give off a lot of smoke. A rush is something that grows near the water, and it would have a lot of water content. It would give off smoke even if after it dies. And it's brown, it would still give off smoke. This nostrils is that which we snort with. We flare in anger, go with this smoke, and this smoke is confusion. It's confusion in the anger. 13. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. His breath, his spirit, his understandings, they kindle these coals. These that are cast down to cause the flames. And these coals, these are like judgments. These are like judgments. We can see the fire is done consumed, and that which remains gives this coal, this light we see, this stone of fire, and this flame goes out of his mouth. This flame goes out of his mouth. It come out to devour. It's a judgment. It's a light from a judgment, even that which we can see. And it's something we'd rather not face. It's a sign that we see, and this is the mouth, or that which pours out of this one who dwells in the sea, or the understandings of men. 14. In his neck abides strength, and dismay dances before him. In his neck is that which supports the head, and that's what his neck is. That is the support. His support abides in strength. These things that support his understanding. It abides in strength, see, and dismay dances before him, all confusion. It dances before him because he has the evidence. He has the power, he has the strength, he has the ability. God will find out creating. 15. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm upon him. They cannot be moved. These flakes of his flesh, once again, these scales that of his flesh, those things that are of earth, even, that are joined together. These are those things that are associated and brought together. They are firm upon him, and they can't be moved. Then God caused them to stick together. 16. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, firm as the nether millstone. His heart, that which is within him, his spirit, his understanding, his knowledge, all this that he has is as firm as a stone. It can't be moved. It can't be moved. It's like a stone. It's made there, yea, firm as the nether millstone. Firm as the nether millstone, that even that stone that grindeth below. That stone that grindeth below, and I reference this as that one that grinds in the flesh even. It's as firm as that one. It grinds it more down into a finer powder of the lower stone would. We'd have an upper stone, a lower stone, and the grain would pass from the upper stone to the lower stone to be ground again. And that's the similitude we have here, and this stone that is set even for this purpose. When he raises himself up, the mighty are afraid. By reason of despair, they are beside themselves. And when he raises himself up, when he stands up, or when he goes to exalt himself, the mighty, they are afraid. They, by reason of despair, because there's no hope, they are lessened in his light. They are beside themselves. They can't do nothing. They are weak. They are found themselves useless. They will find out, would stand outside themselves. There's nothing they can do. 18. If one lay at him with the sword, it will not hold, nor the spear, the dart, nor the pointed shaft. Now, if one comes at him with the sword, we'll find out that's not going to do it, because only the one that created him can bring the sword against him. We'll find out. Only God can. That sword, that's the word. Only God knows how to use it properly and against the great beast that lives in the sea. But we'll find out God created him. He has purpose for God, or God would never have made him. That no spear, that which can be cast for. Hey, I ain't going to do it. The dart, you can't throw nothing at him. Nor the pointed shaft that we would intend to pierce him with. No, there's no hope in these things. 19. He esteems iron as straw, brass as rotten wood. He esteems this iron as straw. It's like stubble. It's the useless portion of the harvest. Even these laws of men, they're just like garbage. They can't accomplish anything. And this is the iron. That's all men have to that which they create. They smelt out of the stone. They bring forth, and they forge, and they form, and they think that they can do something with it. But it's just like straw. It's that useless portion of the harvest. And brass is like rotten wood. And that cold darkness, that which is they try to make to resemble gold, it's like rotted wood. It's like something that's useful for nothing. 20. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. The arrow, that which you shoot forth from your bow, this truth you got going forth, can't make him flee. He's not running from it. He stands firm, see, in his understanding. Sling stones. Stone is something that you've got. A stone is something that we can pick up. It's usually a smaller stone that we can sling. And it's like an understanding of man that's went out, because that's the way I see stones. Stone's like a word of man that goes out, and it couldn't stay up. So it falls to the ground. And that's where we find it, and we can pick this up and put it in a sling and sling it. We'll find out it bounces off him like raindrops, so to speak. They are turned into him like stubble. It's like nothing. It's like the wind blowing against his skin. 21. Clubs are counted as stubble. He laughs at the rattling of the javelin. Clubs, you beat him with clubs, it's like his belly rubbing over the grass. He can't. It's like nothing to him. He laughs at the rattling of the javelin. These riders coming forth with the javelin rattling on the horse, and with the great strength and power, they think they can come up and pierce through. That means nothing to him. There's no understanding in it, because this is not what does it. You can't. That don't work. That's to face him like the understanding of flesh, and we'll find out that it just won't work. He laughs at your terror like it's amusement. 22. Sharpest potsherds are under him. He spreads a threshing sledge upon the mire. The sharpest potsherds are under him. These vessels that have been busted, it's like many pieces of glass. We could look at it like that. But these potsherds are little pieces of clay, and they're very sharp. Some of them get very sharp. They could cut just like a razor. Even if these things were under him, and he was to crawl over top of them, it would be like somebody spreading a threshing sledge upon the mire, as if he went forth spreading a threshing sledge upon the mire, dragging something through the mud. And we could look at it like a sledgehammer, how it would leave a big dent. See, to this threshing sledge, that which you thresh with, though, to beat out the grain. 23. He makes the deep to boil like a pot. He makes the sea like a seething mixture. He makes the deep to boil like a pot. To boil, to churn around and around in this deep, these recesses of the waters that are dark, unaccessible, and if there's darkness there, even if you do, this to boil, it rolls and churns. He makes the sea like a seething mixture, like the sea. The sea is the gathering of all understanding, the gathering of that which is salted for purification, and he causes it to be as it was a seething mixture, and that's to get that same effect that is sitting there steaming and mixing and rolling off. 24. He makes a path to shine after him. One would think the deep is to be hoary, and this path to shine after him, it's kind of like his glory going behind him, this path that shines after him. And this we see, we would think the deep to be hoary, and hoary is that bring forth that white hair, that deep. Those are recesses of understandings to be white-haired. 25, or of old. 25. Upon earth there is not his like, who is made to be fearless. And upon earth there's not his like, because the earth could not defeat him if he was this that is flesh. We'll find out he lives in the understandings of men. He dwells there, but God causes him to dwell there, and God give him his place. 26. He looks at all the high things, and he is king over all the proud beasts. And he does look at all the high things. He has that ability to eye these high things, these things that exalt themselves, we could say, because he is king. He is the king of pride. He is the king of all these proud beasts, these ones who exalt themselves for purpose of devouring, purpose of destruction, these that rip and tear and destroy. He is the king of the proud beasts. We'll find out they have exalted themselves in pride, and they live there, and this is so to speak, we could look at this and use this as an example of that which God created, even in the understandings. We're going to move to chapter 42. Turn and return